Adrian rang me up over the winter and he told me a little bit about the project and asked if I would like to be involved as the photographer. And he has pretty distinct views on how he likes his stones to be presented, which is fair enough, they're his art. But actually, we quickly found a way of working together, a collaborative way, actually, because I listened to Adrian. He made some very good points about how his work should be presented. And likewise, I could bring to the table a whole bunch of, if you like, you know, my idea on how scenes should look, and photographic techniques that Adrian perhaps wasn't always necessarily familiar with. So I feel, and I hope he'd say the same, that actually we quickly found a collaborative way of working, which seemed to work really well. There are two types of photography involved. One is photographing the balances to present them in the best possible way. After all, that's where you want the viewer you want their eyes to rest. And whether it's on the beach or in an urban landscape, there's then a secondary element to the photograph, which is the landscape in the case, or seascape in the case of the beach, or cityscape in the case of the Singapore series that we shot. And it's sometimes very difficult to get those to work well in the frame. I'd say particularly so in the city, because in the landscape and on the coast, it's not that difficult for the landscape to blend into the back, you know, to be positioned very much in the background with the stones very much to the fore. But in the city, it's much harder to do that. I found the cityscapes, they're more insistent, you know, particularly if there are street lights involved. We can't just position the stones in any old place. It felt like a jigsaw. And at times Adrian would get a little frustrated because he would spend ages balancing the most beautiful structure. And when he finished, he'd be amazed that I hadn't actually got the camera in the right place. And there's two reasons for that. One, it takes ages to find the right place for the camera, you know, within the jigsaw. And two, when he's balancing, I can rarely, if ever, see the full structure, the full installation. So I can only vaguely set the camera up. He has to finish before I can really do that properly. And then there's quite a long process of moving the camera around, talking with Adrian about the shot, looking at the back of the camera to see how it looks. And you know, when we're doing that, sometimes the stones can fall off, as they do. You know, if the wind blows, the stones fall off and we have to start from scratch again. So, you know, it's a nice challenge to have because I love shooting cityscapes and I love shooting the stones, but I've had to work hard to marry the two.